and gentlemen, hello, hello. Can you hear me? Anybody? Is anybody there? Hello, operator. Hello, can you hear me? Ladies and gentlemen, it's another fine episode of the incredible, the worthless adventures of Daryl. What's your name again? Chris.
Yes.
Daryl and Chris. Here we are in the wondrous world of film banter, where we banter about film cinema, the escapades of movie stars and other folk.
And occasional TV shows.
Occasional television shows, which we'll be mentioning tonight upon the Netflixian sites. And so, therefore, I'm going to put this megaphonian thing down now and speak to you in my normal voice.
Thank you for that.
Okay. This is my normal voice.
No, it's not. But yes, welcome, folks. This is episode 131.
I realize that.
Not too
bad. Is incredible.
Yeah, very
but true.
good.
We are indeed blessed to still be here after 131 episodes.
And I will tell you, we are coming up on an interesting anniversary of the show. We've been doing this show for 3 years as of this coming weekend.
Is that
the
right?
21st.
Wow.
That was the first show we did, September 21st, 2016. Shit. Also, my friend Steve's birthday. So I remember we did that on his birthday.
Steve Blay.
Bly. Like Captain Bly.
Captain Bly.
Yes, 3 years we've been doing this.
Wow,
as of this weekend.
Outrageous.
It's amazing.
Think of all the money we've spent on dinners.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, yeah. I mean, I would say between the two of us, it's a couple $1,000s.
A couple thousand? What are you, nuts? More than that.
We
probably both spent $3,000 to $4,000.
All right, I'm sorry. I guess over 3 years.
You got to remember, we're spending almost $20 a week.
Yeah.
You know, so
you're right, yeah,
that's $80.
Roughly $80 a month.
A month times
6 times 8 is 480.
Times 36.
We're under $1,000 a year, so we're probably at about 3,000 each, so $6,000.
Could be. That's $6,000.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
If you look at it that way, that's kind of disturbing.
It is a little disturbing, but then again, you know.
Honestly, though, I'd be going out to eat once a week anyway.
Exactly, and you know they always say, you know, look how much money you go buy a Starbucks coffee for $4.25.
I don't do that, but yeah, that's absurd.
It is absurd. It's so stupid. And now, you know, normally I go to Dunkin' Donuts because their iced lattes are a little on the cheaper side. No. $4.25 now.
I know, they're all catching up.
They're all catching up. They're all blowing us right out of the water here.
I can believe, we can get a whole, 12-pack of K-Cups for like $6, $5. It's a better value.
Exactly.
Granted,
it is much better.
They're eating a lot of,
I would certainly
drinking
think,
a lot of crap.
You know who's really dead these days and who's really suffering from the K-Cups is 7-Eleven. Because I used to go to 7-Eleven all the time for my normal cup of coffee. Yeah. I'd pay him $1. It was always $1 up to 6 o'clock for a cup of, a 12-ounce cup or whatever. Louie, stop. Stop humping Angie there. She doesn't want to be humped. Well, maybe she does.
Yeah, why don't you maybe not stop it and see what happens?
Well, no, then he just humps her, though.
She might like it.
Maybe she likes it, but I don't want her to like it.
Oh, look at you being
her father. I don't want her to like it.
Like every
Angie,
father.
please, Angie.
What if she was humping him?
That would be another story. That I wouldn't mind. No, that's okay. All right, so let us begin the beginning. We now have the incredible Hustlers burning its iodes into my wonderful TV screen.
I wouldn't worry too much about it.
So let us begin the beginning.
Yeah, for those, you want to do the premise, or shall I?
I'd be happy to, as long I'll
Inspired by a true story.
Exactly. And you know, this is kind of a Bible, if you would. Not necessarily just for women in this mode, this world, but it's also a little bit of a... this
cautionary
is for club goers.
Exactly.
Yeah. This is a club goers.
It's a tutorial.
It's almost a manual
Yeah.
for how to rip off guys and how guys can be wary of being ripped off. And just little things in general. Women always look at a guy's watch and his shoes. I like those little tidbits.
Yeah, exactly.
There's one great scene where, you know, a woman just looks at the guy, he sees his watch, he looks very classy, and she looks down at his shoes and she goes, no.
I know that. I remember that scene.
That was a cool little scene. These are our stars, basically, Miss Jennifer Lopez and
Constance Wu. She's
Wu.
the lead. It's her film. She gets top billing.
She really is the lead here.
Because we don't meet J-Lo for at least 15 minutes, I would say.
I would say so. She makes a grand entrance as Ramona.
Talk about an entrance. That was some scene.
Well, here she is.
It's a Fiona Apple, right?
Exactly. And here she is on the pole here. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of Oscar talk for her.
You know, I was before seeing the movie, I was like, let's not get ahead of ourselves, guys. This movie is whatever. Then I saw it and I said, I understand now why they say that.
I do too.
It's a commanding performance.
It's a commanding
Probably
performance.
One of her best. I could see her getting a Best Supporting Actress nomination.
Oh, oh no, I think she'd get a Best Actress.
But she's in the supporting category, though. She's a
supporting
character.
She's in 90% of this film.
I know, but it's... Well, I guess it could be Best Actress, even though she's not the lead. but
it's an hour and 51 minutes. It's
a longer film.
It's a longer film. One thing I will say about obviously it's about a group of strippers who begin a kind of a way to make extra money by basically ripping off their clients. Yeah. And by drugging them.
They lure them from a regular bar, lounge.
Correct.
To come with them to, come, let's go to a strip club. They're drunk at that point.
Yeah.
And then they do a little drug action in their drink.
They put a little, it's almost a meth kind of a thing.
Yeah, they actually have a scene. I like the scene where they're cooking.
Yeah,
and they're learning how to make this work. You know?
They actually show us the drug that they are using. I mean, this really is a manual for young women everywhere to, rip off guys. And I'll tell you, J-Lo just looks stunning in this film. I mean,
I thought she was excellent. I thought everybody was very good. I thought Constance Wu did a good job.
I thought she was great also.
I don't see an Oscar nomination in her future, but for this role.
Yeah.
But I think she had a lot more to do as an actress than she did in her Crazy Rich Asians. But I hear she's very good at that show Off the Boat, which I haven't seen.
I have not seen it.
But I know that she's really good on that show. My friend was telling me.
Well, that's a reality show, is it not?
No, it's a sitcom.
It's a regular sitcom.
No, it's kind of a funny premise.
Oh, okay.
It's about two husband and wife, Asian couple, that moved to Florida off the boat,
right?
And they open up a restaurant. But you think they would open up like an Asian restaurant? It's apparently like a steakhouse, like an Outback kind of a thing.
Oh, interesting.
And the joke with her character is she is ridiculously frugal. And I heard it's like really funny.
Oh, okay.
But she's good. I like her in this film.
I like her in this too.
I liked her in Crazy Rich Asians.
Yeah, I don't think she's going to win anything for this film. It's kind of a one-note.
It'll help her going forward, though, getting more serious roles.
Absolutely.
Because this film, I will say, has a much more serious tone than I anticipated.
Yeah.
I kind of expected it to be a little bit more comical, which it was.
I thought it was going to be very similar to Widows and, that.
Yeah, it wasn't that serious, but it was kind of in between.
Yeah.
But I would say that there's elements in this movie that reminded me of Goodfellas a little bit in terms of just the rip from the headlines element, the interview aspect of it, how it's being told sporadically through these interviews and flashback. And I gotta say, man, this movie engaged me. And
me too.
I'll cut to the chase. I really enjoyed it. I liked it.
I did too. I thought
quite
it was terrific.
a bit.
No, I thought
it was a lot
wonderful.
better than I expected it to be.
Did you see it at the Dolby Atmos Theater, as I suggested?
Well, no, but I saw it at the other version of that, which is AMC Prime, which is their theater down in Willowbrook. That literally, it's just as good as Dolby.
Oh, good.
And the seats shake.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
It can be jarring at times, like when my wife and I saw Aquaman there.
Oh,
it was a little too much.
Well, that would be too much.
Yeah, but with this film, it was pretty subtle.
Cardi B right here.
Yeah, she was in the movie for like 5 minutes.
She wasn't in here very much, but I know J-Lo actually asked her to be in the film. And she showed up. A lot of good acting on display. A very engaging film.
I agree.
Most films kind of start out with a little bit of a momentum.
Yeah.
Where there's kind of giving a backlog to all the characters and so forth. This film just maintained that momentum through the whole film.
It did.
It never really settled into a standard type of film where suddenly we're quiet. Dialogue is just it's always moving. It was just.
Very well paced, I thought.
It was well paced. It was almost a little too hyper paced, I thought. But at the same time, for the length that the film was, I thought it was engaging. I like. There's many funny moments in this. It's a real life type movie. It's not. You can't call it a drama or a comedy or a dramedy. It's just got so many little essences rolling around in it and so forth. Jennifer is kind of the head. She's the head honcho of this group of women who are going to commence this rip-off procedure of these. She's the
mastermind, basically.
She's the mastermind of the high-priced clientele that she is now going to seduce. And I like the whole fact that they bring they make a deal with the bar, with the strip club, so that they can give his cut of the credit card. That's the only way they can really get all the money off the card.
And I like that. That this took place, like we said, it's based on a true story. So things were going great. The movie starts out in 07.
Yeah.
Then we're in 08 after the collapse of the financial collapse.
Sure.
And then the club's dead.
Right.
And we see other things happening with some of these characters. And then that's when they start this whole plan, this scheme, and they focus specifically on the Wall Street guys. And the guys that are the high rollers, not the rinky-dink guys that are struggling. The guys that really are the big wigs in these firms.
Peter Sarsgaard.
Peter Sarsgaard? No, he wasn't in this.
What's his name?
What's his name was in that?
The guy who's married to Jake Gyllenhaal's... what's his name?
You're thinking of Peter Sarsgaard.
Oh, no. So
he wasn't in this film.
Who was?
The guy you're thinking of was, he was in Pulp Fiction. He's one of the guys in the beginning that they blow away.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah, he was in it. His name is escaping
like
me. He's been in a million movies.
No, you're quite right.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking
Peter
about.
Sarsgaard.
It'll come, for some reason, his name escaped me.
He just looks like him now.
Yeah, a little bit. But yeah, so then they focus on these Wall Street guys to kind of like, hey, these guys destroyed the economy. Screw them,
Yeah,
so
right.
I like that element of it because, hey, you know what? It's kind of like vigilante justice
There's
in
a
a way.
revenge factor there.
So I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And I just enjoyed pretty much the entire movie. There were some laughs.
Yeah.
It was captivating.
Music was great.
Great
Wow.
music. There's some sequences.
Constant, yeah.
There's a lot of montages to music that was great. There was a whole scene where we see things are going well and they're buying new clothes and they're getting the apartment.
Right.
Then they have that great scene where it's Christmas morning and they're giving each other gifts.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was nice. And I loved how Constance's character, she was trying to help her grandmother out.
Right.
And then her grandmother's
Hands her big wads of cash.
yeah, she's a character. She gets a Christmas gift. It was just nice.
Yeah.
And it felt real to me. It all seemed very believable and plausible.
I agree. It was very
It's
well,
a great
well done, well
movie.
shot, well.
Yeah, it was
everything.
directed by a woman, which is cool.
I know, no, beautifully done.
And I thought it was very well
It
done.
really was very nicely done.
Yeah, and,
one scene is filmed in the Palisades Mall, by the way.
Really?
Yeah. There's a scene where they're in a mall and they're
Okay.
eating, and they were right in front of a Nathan's, and directly behind that Nathan's is Taco Bell. And I have been to both of those places at the mall, and I just thought
So
that's
you're
just
certain that was
great.
Palisades?
I'm 99%
I mean, it makes sense if they're shooting in New York.
Sure, absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. No, I'm 99% sure that was easily the Palisades Mall.
that's
And
cool.
then they walk
I know
into
the
a
scene you're
jewelry
talking
store.
about.
Yeah. A great little cast
Yeah,
here.
everybody was very good.
This is she plays J-Lo's
She's
daughter.
J-Lo's daughter.
J-Lo's daughter, correct.
Yeah.
Just a nice looking film. Just felt
Yeah.
good. I enjoyed it. I
Yeah,
really
me
did.
too. And J-Lo's character in this film reminded me of, several different women that I've worked with over the years in different places that I've worked at. There was a familiarity to the way she played that role.
Well, in almost a very masculine way.
Well, there
played
were
the
some
role.
times
the
where she was
guy.
a little bit. She
was the guy.
Yeah, I mean, she
looked it,
sometimes
too.
had that kind of
authoritarian kind
well, what's
of,
the word I'm looking for? Alpha. She's like there was an alpha
she is
quality
the
to her.
alpha-
Yeah,
she's the alpha.
yeah, it was good.
No
I really
question.
enjoyed it.
Absolutely.
I really can't recommend it highly enough. I think this is a film that some people might skip. I say check it out.
I do too. I even like Julia Stiles in the film, who kind
It
of.
was nice
haven't
seeing
seen
her.
Julia
I haven't
in a
seen her in a
while.
while. She's been stuck in smaller films that go straight
Very true.
to video or streaming. But
I
yeah,
remember her vividly. She was a star with I think it was Tony Goldman. She was in the new Omen.
Oh, that's
they
right.
made an
Yeah,
Omen
yeah.
release,
a
which
few
was
years ago.
interesting. But I like Julie.
She was good.
The whole film is basically kind of they're all being slowly interviewed throughout the film.
It's based
because
on an article.
There's a lot of money that has been stolen.
Yes.
So is someone going to go to jail or not go to jail?
Yeah.
And we realize the police are involved, and that it all just kind of comes crashing together. Yeah, we had a cameo or two by. Usher was in the
He played
film.
himself. I like that. Yeah,
I know.
I was afraid that they were going to have, they're going to have a bad lookalike, but no, it was really him. That
No, it
was
was
great.
Usher, all right.
I
yeah.
like that. That was good.
And J-Lo says, "What's your name? What's your name?" And he goes, "Usher."
He's throwing money.
I
It
know.
was
He's
great.
throwing money. Of course.
Yeah, it was a fun film. I really enjoyed it.
And of course, all I could think of was the guy was sued by countless women for having venereal diseases.
Usher was?
Yeah, oh God.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, for quite a while. I mean, he had like 3 or 4 women, and he's married too. So,
Yeah.
it was not a good reflection upon his
his
wife at the
when
time.
you're at his level, I guess it's hard to keep it in your pants.
I think so too. And
It makes you wonder when you're a guy like that. A lot of these kind of not rappers, but musicians and rock stars. You're asking for trouble. Not to say you don't deserve to get married, but if you can't handle the temptations, don't put that ring on.
Well, there you go.
It's impossible to keep that stuff
I know.
in check. Very few bands can be like Rush, who don't party, who read books backstage and drink wine.
Well,
not everybody can be like them.
Well, they're all so damn ugly that no, only Geddy Lee is. No, they're not ugly. I mean, they're just. Well, Neil Peart has mucho tragedy. The drummer of the band.
No, I mean his wife and his daughter were killed.
Daughter were
car accident. Right?
His wife died of cancer about a year after his daughter
died in a car accident.
Died in a car crash.
Terrible. And then he left the band for a year to go drive around on his motorcycle. And they thought the band was over, and then he came back.
No, it came back, and they had not put an album out since 2015.
Well, I think they're done now. I think they were saying they're done.
Have they?
I think so, because the touring is getting laborsome to them. It's getting very tiring.
Well,
so I think they might still put out albums, but I think they're done touring. I think that's what I read recently.
Yeah. No,
but anyway, we're digressing.
Okay.
We're a little rush banter,
Let us move on.
I definitely enjoyed this.
Absolutely,
it's a solid movie.
Solid all the way.
I agree. I'm happy you liked
pleasantly
it.
surprised.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Because neither one of us were dying to see it when we were discussing. But glad we picked a good one because Goldfinch is bombing. Glad we didn't go see that. But I'll still see that on video.
I
and
will
maybe.
too. It looks like a small film.
It
know,
does.
I got to say one thing about this film. This really is a big screen film.
I would agree. I would agree.
I had the choice of of watching it in a streaming thing from another country. I decided not to do that. That I was simply going to go see it in the theater, and I'm so glad that I did.
Yeah.
And I saw it in a Dolby Atmos theater, which is the best sound you can get.
Yeah, it's really good.
And the sound is phenomenal in this film.
It's great.
A lot of movies that are in the Dolby theater or the IMAX theaters, they don't utilize the sound often.
I know, they really should.
And they, it'll be a small film that's just being used for the IMAX just because it's a new film. They'll stick it in the IMAX. And I remember First Man. For example,
I saw that in this Prime theater.
I saw that in the IMAX, and the sound wasn't really anything. There was really nothing about it.
Which is surprising because usually IMAX is good.
The only time that they utilize the sound pretty much... No. IMAX is always good, but very often the sound is not really set up for an IMAX theater.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And what'll happen is that it'll just kind of come through the front speakers. And in a film like First Man, which is that Ryan Gosling film, of course, from last year, directed by the same
Damien Chazelle, who did La La Land,
etc.
And Whiplash.
And exactly, and so we had a lot of just very mediocre sound. Even when I think when the rocket ship took off to go to the moon, I
remember that being pretty good.
That was probably the only time the sound is really used. Otherwise, it's just this a dramatic film. People chatting away. But there you go. There's our special effect of the body of Miss Jennifer Lopez, amply on display here. And she really does her homework. I mean, she does a whole strip thing on the pole, shows her various moves and stuff. So
no, she did a good job.
I think she may very well get nominated for Best Actress for this.
It could be supporting, though. It could be supporting.
Well, she'll win if it's supporting, I think. There's a good possibility.
Likely. So that would be a better bet.
Got a lot of big movies coming out. Yeah.
Well, now is the time of year everything's
I think Maggie Smith is probably going to win for Downton Abbey, so...
She in that? I didn't know she was in that.
Maggie Smith. She's a main character.
Okay. In that film. When I've been wanting to see Downton Abbey. I've never seen the show.
I've never.
One day I will because I hear it's excellent.
Well, the film is now here upon us.
It's coming out Friday.
Is it coming out this Friday?
This week.
And also we got Rambo this week.
I'm going.
I know. Me too.
I'm going Thursday night. Okay.
There you go.
All right.
Okay.
So we're gonna move on now. To the Fanatic.
2 big thumbs up. 2 big yeses.
I agree. 2 big yeses for Hustlers.
Yeah, go see it. It's really.
I really recommend it highly.
Really great little piece of work, honestly.
Now we have the Fanatic, which is the new film.
This is really our second film in our.
It's our second film. It's the new film of John Travolta. It didn't make it to theaters, but it's streaming on all the platforms.
And rightly so.
Directed by Fred Durst of Limp Bizkit fame, who's done a lot of other things before this. Though this is not his first movie. He's done a couple features and a bunch of shorts and videos.
Yeah.
Travolta plays a guy who we suspect has maybe some kind of autism. He's very kind of socially awkward. He's an obsessive fan of this movie star played by Devon Sawa, who's like an action star.
Now, Devon Sawa, where have we...
He was a child actor. A lot of stuff as a kid.
He's got that Daniel Craig...
Yeah, I haven't seen him in a while. He was excellent, I thought, in this film. He was pretty good.
I thought this film was so poorly written, though.
It didn't have a great script.
It didn't have a great script.
But I got to tell you from off the bat, I give props to Travolta for this movie. I thought he did a good job.
He did.
If this was a better script and a better film, the critics would not be destroying it because they love to lambast him when he's in these kind of weird movies.
Yeah.
But I think it's not just.
No. His character is right on the money.
He's good.
I think that for what this film is, and I personally found this film so repulsive. So repulsive. I did not even... I mean, I'd put it on, I'd watch 5 minutes or so, then I'd turn it off. I'd watch another 5 minutes or so, I'd turn it on. And it was streaming on some...
Well, it's on all, like we said, it's on all the platforms.
It's on all the platforms. So, But I tell you, I literally, I despise this film with such a passion. I just hated every moment of it.
It's not for everybody. It's not a pleasant film.
It's not a fun film to watch.
It's not.
Travolta's character is just so uncomfortable in every way.
And that's the thing. If you don't like uncomfortable, whether it's uncomfortable comedy, like Curb Enthusiasm, or uncomfortable drama, this kind of thing, it's not going to be for you, and it's going to be off-putting. And this film basically plays a guy who's obsessed with this star, and he basically starts stalking him.
Yeah.
In his mind, he doesn't think he's stalking him, but that's what he's doing.
He thinks he's a fan.
Yeah, he's a fan.
We've seen films like this before.
Yeah, well, The Fan with De Niro and Wesley Snipes.
Well, there was also
the Tony
one
Scott
before
film
that.
from the 90s.
There was one, there was one even before that with Lauren Bacall called The Fan.
Okay.
And that came out maybe in the 70s.
70s, okay.
So, yeah. So, this film, I will say this, the art design, the general photography, and just the color and just the look of the film is quite stunning.
Yeah, I mean, it's well made.
It's very well made.
People can say what they want about Fred Durst, his ability to be a writer.
I don't like the man
Me
too
neither.
much.
His music was awful, but I thought he
just his music.
did a good job with this film, at least directing it.
No,
it's a well-made film.
To say, it's not horrible,
and he got good performances out of everybody.
He did. I just found that the script just kind of
it needed another pass, big time, as another draft.
Very possibly so. I'm going to say something about the ending here.
Don't give too much away.
I'm not going to give too much away, but we have an ending of this film that's on the very violent and so forth.
Yes.
And you know what? I would have preferred a Moonlight ending, where we have Mr. Star. The star Hunter.
His name was
Lumbar or what? Yeah, Lumbar, isn't it? Hunter Lumbar?
Hunter Dunbar, something like that.
Dunbar,
yeah,
correct.
Yeah.
So we see him, Travolta's, we've kind of gone into the misery realm with James Caan and Kathy Bates.
Exactly.
He's tied to the bed and so forth. He's making all these promises to Mr. Travolta. I would have preferred to see those promises be carried out.
I know. Instead of going to the cliche violence.
The cliche
I know
violence,
what you're saying.
I would have just loved it if he just said, you know what, I'm going to sign everything you ever want. Because all he really wants... and of course, as the audience member, we're sitting here, poor Travolta, he follows this man around. He's got this Rizzo jacket, this leather jacket that he gets from a pawn seller.
Yeah, that this guy wore in one of his movies.
Wore in one of his movies and so forth. So, he's following him around. All he wants is an autograph.
It would have been nice if we went the less predictable route. I agree with you.
I really found
it would have been an interesting...
Yeah,
more bold choice. I would agree.
Stereotype all the way, and it would have been more memorable. We would have remembered it better. This guy was good, actually.
He was the landscaper.
And the maid, the maid who looks like AOC.
She does look like AOC.
She looks like our Congress lady.
Yeah, a little bit.
I know.
There's Fred
very
Durst.
much so. There's Fred
looking like Gorton's Fisherman.
Trying to look like a Mr. Director here.
Yeah.
I can't say I really love this
film.
But
I'm going to tell you, though, I enjoyed this movie a hell of a lot more than because, going from the hype on this movie, I was expecting the biggest, awful train wreck in the world. And I was finding myself very, very entertained.
Well, John really...
He does a great job.
He really captures a character here.
He does.
And he plays it very, very well. I believe he has an autistic child.
He did.
Did?
Chet passed away.
Oh, he did pass away.
A few years ago.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I think he was a little autistic.
But I'll bet that there,
that might be why he was drawn to the movie. He produced it.
I'm almost positive.
And I want to say something about John is that this is not the first time that he's come from up here and gone down here, because he was up here in the 80s, then he went down. Then after Pulp Fiction, he was up here. Now he's kind of down again on his way down. But you know what though? He has not just thrown it in and just kind of phoned things in. He's still trying to give performances.
He really does. Even in Gotti.
Giving good performances.
Even in Gotti.
He tries.
It's just as hard to make a bad film as it is a good film.
It's true.
It takes
so much
writers,
work goes
it takes
into it.
gaffers and lighting and this and
cinematography and time and scheduling, everything.
Script, producers and executive producers and everybody's. And
Gotti was a troubled project for a long time.
Yeah, and that was a catastrophe.
It was.
It turned out to be a decent TV type movie.
Yeah.
But wasn't it released in theaters? I believe.
Very small release. Yeah, but it was playing.
Yeah, some theater in.
I think it was at the Palisades. I think.
Was it?
Maybe.
Oh, I don't think so.
For one weekend.
Maybe for 3 days.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
he gives a shit still.
Yeah,
I think
he really does. I have to say, he really doesn't need to give a shit.
No, but he does.
At this stage in his life,
there are other movie stars that are in his position that are phoning it in movie after movie after movie after movie.
Well, we just saw him
and
in Poison Rose.
Yeah, and he was good in a movie that was mediocre, but he was good in it.
He, you know, I think
I still like John.
There's something about his choice of projects that kind of, I think that's kind of his weakness, is that he chooses things that are not necessarily, there's no real attraction for us, the audience, to many of these films, and that's why they all go direct to video or direct to pay-per-view or
wherever it goes,
it goes, streaming here, online, etc. And that's a shame to me, because I think it's all about John. I think he just, you know, when he makes a film, when certain people make a film, Will Smith makes a movie. Will Smith cannot make a small film.
It's true.
He can't do it, because it used to be, Mel Gibson said the same thing. He would have loved to have just made some independent little sleeper films, you know, like Payday and things like that.
And then
Payback, forgive me. And then Payday was with Ben Affleck.
That's called Paycheck.
Oh, Paycheck.
Same concept.
There you go.
Though.
Uma Thurman. Yeah, I remember that film.
You know, that movie wasn't as bad as The Hype either.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
It was okay.
It wasn't very good.
It was just okay.
But neither here nor there. I mean, you know, when a big star, as I'm saying, can't even make a small
film. I know what you're saying.
Because as soon as people find out that Will Smith is attached to a film, or even Ryan Reynolds these days,
the money comes running.
Exactly. The money comes in because now everybody wants to get involved.
It's true.
And you've got, suddenly it's a big film.
I know.
Suddenly it's a big production. They're paying him a lot of money. The script is being revamped and read this and that. When John Travolta, that's all he can do is little films, because nobody's really attracted to working with John Travolta, which is a sad thing. But, you know,
I think some of the tabloid stuff hurt him in the long run.
Well, he did
some of those things that happened a few years ago.
A tryst in a men's room in Beverly Hills.
Well, they also said there were things that different cruise lines would go on a cruise, and that allegedly things happen.
He's a bisexual man.
Yeah, but
I think that's
that unfortunately
it has hurt his career.
Has hurt his career. I agree.
But at the same time, you know, I think people are more forgiving these days.
They are, and I think with John, I wouldn't count him out yet out of the big leagues.
I never would.
All it takes is him getting cast in another studio movie again. You know,
I agree.
Maybe he'll do like the supporting route a little bit until and then get back. You know, I don't know if he's going to get back. I doubt he would get back to the level he was at.
You never know.
Post Pulp Fiction.
All it takes is.
But I would never count him out.
All it takes is Martin Scorsese or
to put him in a film.
Somebody to put him in a film, even as a bit part, and because he will rise to the occasion.
I think he will.
That is the one thing
100%.
about John Travolta.
Yeah,
he will overcome whatever mental stigma. He really can perform, and this film is a great performance by him.
He's excellent.
It's a repulsive performance for me. I didn't enjoy his character. He's such a weakling.
Well, it just makes you uncomfortable the whole time too.
He does. He makes you uncomfortable.
Well, he's a guy that's socially awkward. Right. He doesn't read cues. He doesn't get. You know, he's a guy who's living on the fringes of society in a way.
Basically.
And the weird subplot that he makes his money as a performer on Hollywood Boulevard. All those people that are dressed up in costumes. And there he is. Of all things, he's dressed as like a Bobby cop from Britain.
I know.
Doing an awful British accent.
Big hat with the big.
That was bizarre.
Mustache.
Yeah.
And he's getting, his ass is getting kicked by some of the other street performers, and they take his money from him. And
they want him to join. They want him to join them, in grifting the tourists.
This is one of the guys that.
This guy wants him to help pickpocket the tourists.
Right.
Weird subplot we didn't really need.
It was an hour and a half, and it was about, for me, it was about an hour too long.
See, for me, I was into it.
Okay.
And I was engaged the whole time for the most part. And by the time it was over, I'm like, all right, that was the appropriate length. It wasn't too long.
I will say this, that by the end of the film, I enjoyed it more.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of reached, it climaxed, it shot its load, and game over.
And I'm going to use a phrase here that I use often on movies that, might not necessarily be for the best of movies, but I say, I'm glad it exists. I'm glad this movie exists. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Had we not seen this film, and this young girl, by the way, is pretty good.
Well, she was good, yeah.
She's the narrator.
And she's his best friend.
Right.
Talk about having a lot of work, having this guy as your best friend.
Exactly.
But she's good. Her name was Anna something. What is it? I know she's on some TV shows. I'd never seen her before.
Okay.
But her name is Anna Golja.
Okay.
Golj.
God bless you.
But yeah, we'll move on now.
Yeah, let us move on.
Let's see here. We're going to do
The Dead Don't Die.
Jim Jarmusch film, The Dead Don't Die.
Yes, sir.
It is a zombie film that
So
takes place in a small American town,
It is.
maybe upstate New York.
Let's look at this cast. Tilda Swinton, Bill Murray, Steve Buscemi.
It has a great cast.
Iggy Pop shows up as a zombie.
RZA or
Selena Gomez.
Yeah. We have Tilda Swinton
is in it.
Adam Driver.
Carol Kane.
Carol Kane for like a
shows
minute.
Up. I know. A lot of people.
A lot of the faces you recognize from the
Close
films.
Savigny here, Adam Driver, Bill Murray, of course.
Bill Murray's like in every scene. This is a big movie for him.
Pretty much. One thing about Jim Jarmusch's films is they never seem to ever get going.
Very slow-paced.
They're slow-paced. He takes his time. He's into dialogue, and the dialogue isn't that innovative.
Not. And the scenes go on longer than, like, you think it's over and it keeps going.
Yeah, it doesn't end.
It's almost like, they're running jokes about that kind of thing.
It's like
Family
a Saturday
Guy.
Night Live skit that just doesn't know when to call it quits.
And in these movies, all Jim Jarmusch's movies are just like always bizarre. There's always like, generally like a weird ending or an ending that leaves you like, huh? Like it's over?
Well, though, I will say this. The last film he made with Tilda Swinton, that Vampire.
Was probably the one I liked the most.
Me too.
The Dead, that's called Only Lovers Left Alive.
I like that film a lot.
And I read trivia, it was during the making of that film that she said to Jim, you should make a zombie movie.
Who said to Jim?
Tilda Swinton.
Tilda did? Oh, okay.
And this came from that.
Yeah, here's Rosie Perez.
Rosie Perez, that was a TV person.
Posey Juarez.
Posey Juarez, yeah.
We proved some beautiful attacks.
But, here's Tom Waits.
Yeah, here's Tom.
He's a bushman, lives in the woods.
I like Tom in this film.
He was cool.
Course, Tom,
he was like the spectator.
Well, he was in a movie called the one where they were all in jail. It's a very famous, I think I have it sitting
Jim
over
Jarmusch
here.
film.
Yeah, it's a Jim Jarmusch film.
One of his early ones, right?
One of his very early
films.
It's a black and white film. He also did Mystery Hotel, I believe.
He did Dead Man with Johnny Depp.
Yeah, boy, just another slow-paced, but there's something about his films. I don't know what it is.
Maybe interesting.
They're always a little bit on the. I like Steve Buscemi, a man who has my voice, by the way.
Kind of, yeah.
But there's a charm about his films, and I don't know what it is. Maybe because he has a great rapport with many actors that we love.
Which is funny. His movies are always loaded up with stars, which I like.
Not always.
Most of the time,
like that Mystery Hotel film he did. There was no real stars in that, but. Here's the guy from 3 Billboards.
Billboards, yeah.
Who gets his ass kicked by...
In that movie, yeah. He's been in a ton of stuff.
By,
Caleb Landry Jones is his name.
He's
an interesting-looking guy.
Yeah, he gets his ass kicked by our Oscar winner.
Sam Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell, yeah. Gets thrown out of the thing. Look at Tom Waits right here, looking like the Cowardly Lion.
Looks like Simba.
Looks like the Cowardly Lion.
He does, he really does.
The Wizard of Oz,
he does.
Courage. That's what
But yeah, I mean, this movie, it's bizarre. You got Tilda Swinton as
I love Tilda.
She's like a foreigner who just takes over a funeral parlor in the small town.
She's reprising her role here in Doctor Strange. Is basically
kind of
what she was doing there. And that
also reminded me of Kill Bill, obviously, a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. There you go.
But I'm going to just say, at the end of the day, this film to me was just like, okay. Just okay.
I'll tell you something.
I wouldn't have run out to see this.
Twice to get through this.
It's a tough sit.
Sat here and watched it.
Slow paced.
Fell asleep. Had to restart it. Went back to where I remembered I was. I do love Close Savigny. I really do.
She's good, Close Savigny. No, that was well done, well acted.
Well,
but it's just
there was just no meat there.
No, there wasn't.
There's no.
The whole movie, Bill's just like.
Yeah, Bill just doesn't
low key, kind of one note.
Exactly.
He's like, I'm doing this movie for Jim.
Kind of Bill is like that in most of his films.
Most of his movies. And there's a thing that happens in this movie.
Here he is right here, Mr.
Here he is. I feel
like,
that it's because he's so weird looking.
Well, it's Andy Warhol.
A little, he's got to have that crazy hair.
He does. He's got the face, too. It's almost like an albino kind of face.
He's definitely an interesting filmmaker, but I mean, I haven't ever left a Jim Jarmusch feeling like, oh my God,
well, that was fantastic.
Never. It's just like, okay, it's all right.
No, he's a very mediocre man who's gotten a lot of acclaim for, I don't even know why.
Maybe it's just the way he directs his actors. Maybe the experience of making the movie is what the actors love about it. Critics, I don't know why they love his movies if they do.
Well, he is a critic's darling. There's no question. there's a very incredible, I will say, in every scene there's an incredible intimacy.
Yeah.
Every scene, characters are really relating to each other in a dismal kind of fashion, but there's still a very strong, there's a chemistry there that does somehow unite all these actors in these films. But unfortunately, you know, without the train to hop on, these actors are kind of left with really nothing, nowhere to go. And that's look at Selena Gomez.
She's in like 3 scenes.
Oh my God! But
Wasted.
look at her. I mean, it looks like she's been injected with, helium here. She's about to float away.
A little bit, yeah. This was a funny
moment.
scene when he shows up in the shit.
Oh yeah, I like the
smart
little,
car.
Yeah, I know.
And there's a thing that happens. I'm not going to give it away, but there's something that happens at the end of this film where they kind of like, you know, break the fourth wall, you know, so to speak.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like rolling my eyes at much like, oh man, did they just do that?
Yeah, the fourth wall, of course, being between the
audience,
and the
movie.
And that's when somebody directly talks to the
and
audience.
yeah, they bring you out of it, and I'm just like, didn't work for me. You know, I didn't care for that.
Very true.
And I like seeing Danny Glover.
I know, nice
he
to
was
see
fun.
Danny. He was good.
And there were some good deaths, I guess, a couple of them maybe.
Maybe.
But nothing we haven't seen before.
It's a weak film.
It's I would
really
never watch it again.
It's a 2-star movie.
I can't say I can recommend it for somebody to watch. Unless you're a hardcore Jim Jarmusch fan or a big fan of some of the actors, okay.
Possibly.
Other than that,
it's
something I'm going to forget about.
No, it's real. I've forgotten it already, basically.
Yeah, I can't recommend it. I say skip it.
Yeah, I
Sorry, Jim.
You know, but it's a nice looking movie.
It is. It looks nice.
Maybe at 3:30 in the morning if you can't sleep and it's on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got Adam and Bill. Bill's always watchable, even when he's not performing.
I agree,
but unfortunately, there's
other things I'd rather watch.
Nothing here for any actor to really sink his teeth into.
Yeah.
This ain't gonna win any awards.
No.
I don't know if Jim Jarmusch has ever won anything. I don't know if he's ever...
Maybe it's some of the more niche festivals.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't think he's ever been nominated for an Oscar.
The Hackensack Film Festival.
Maybe,
there's only 5 entries. So, maybe Jim got... Somebody kind of came through.
Yeah, he's probably done something that's been nominated for something.
Yeah, he must have.
Maybe Independent Spirit Award when he first came on the scene.
I wish I could think of that film that Tom Waits is in. Dirty? Is it Dirty something? Or Small Change? No. Not Small Change. That's a album by Tom Waits.
It'll come to you.
It may come to me. Yeah, let us move on.
All right, now we're going to do Late Night.
Late Night.
This is a film that's again, it's on all your platforms. It's out on video. Well, actually, no. Let me correct myself. It's an Amazon exclusive, which is where we saw it on Amazon.
Correct. Yes.
So it's
written by Mindy Kaling.
Mindy Kaling, who's very talented. She has a big background as a writer. If you don't know,
correct.
She created the show, The Mindy Project. She just created a TV version of Four Weddings and a Funeral. She wrote that. Was the show
she was originally
on?
Well,
The Office was her big break.
Okay.
She was excellent on The Office.
She was great on The Office.
So this is Emma Thompson in this film. She plays a very veteran late night talk show host.
She's at the end of her career.
She doesn't give a shit, basically, is the vibe we're getting.
I wouldn't say she doesn't give a shit.
The ratings have slumped for decades.
Her charisma has sadly slumped. And she's seen her day after 23 years of doing this.
Her husband is John Lithgow, who we learn has MS or Parkinson's.
Yeah, he has.
And then, so we just meet, right away, we find Emma's having a conversation with her producer and basically been getting heat from the president of the company, who is played by Amy Ryan, saying ratings are slumping. And so the producer's like, listen, we got to bring in a female writer. You got to bring in more diversity to your writing room because now it's all men. People think that she's got an issue with women, blah, blah, blah. So here comes Mindy Kaling as somebody who just finds out about
Fish
the job.
out of water.
Fish out of water.
She works in a chemical plant.
Yeah, and
she comes in and has a new, fresh outlook
on
the entire late night talk show world. She's a huge fan of the Emma Thompson her character that she's playing. Did I like this film?
Yes.
I thought it was okay. I didn't love the film. Yeah, I just thought it was okay.
You know what's funny for me? Well, I guess Hustlers was probably my favorite that I saw of the week. But up until I saw Hustlers, this was my favorite of the week. So this is my second favorite.
Okay.
I just enjoyed watching it, and I love movies and TV shows about the behind the scenes,
the making of
movies or TV shows.
Okay.
But I thought what really sold me on this film was the performances by our two leads, by Mindy Kaling.
Yeah.
And I thought Emma Thompson was wonderful.
Well, Emma Thompson.
I've never seen her in something like this.
I never given her a bad performance.
I agree.
And she does a whole stand-up routine.
She does a great job.
She's very good. She's always good, though.
I agree.
The woman is
phenomenal. She is. She's amazing.
You know, I always go back to this one film that we
Alone in Berlin.
Yes.
Where she plays the wife.
I love that movie so much.
And she's aging very well too.
Well, she's a lovely lady, and she
still writes a lot of films.
Superwoman here.
Yeah.
She really has a very brazen look. Nice to see John Lithgow
I like John.
leave the Broadway stage for
a few minutes.
literally 3 days so he could make do his part in this
I'm
film.
sure, yeah.
But Emma really, it's her film more or less, and Mindy Kaling, of course, is the ingenue who comes in.
And she's very likable. You really sympathize with her character, and I just really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was fun.
Okay.
It's an easy watch. It is
an easy watch. It's an hour and 34 minutes.
Yeah, very simple.
Very simple.
It's
very
funny. Quick. It's got a story that I think a lot of people can identify with, at least with being the fish out of water and, striving for something that you've always wanted. There's a lot of those kind of themes.
True.
But I like the whole, let's make the show better angle, where she starts doing, women on the street kind of bits.
Yeah. I like the progression of characters, too.
Yeah.
Where
This is
Mindy
Reed
comes
Scott,
in.
who was known from that show Veep.
Oh,
he's getting a lot of film work now.
Okay.
He's good as this kind of egocentric writer.
Right. I love this.
Amy Ryan. I love her.
We always see her. She's
the president of the company.
She's always the sister of,
the wife.
Leanna, or what's her name, Linney from...
Laura Linney?
Laura Linney. Or she's always the sister who comes in, or she's dying of cancer or something, and Laura Linney has to fly in and meet with her because dad is dying, and they have.
She does a lot of those kind of roles.
Yeah,
but
she does.
She was in The Office herself.
She's the Judy Greer of the older set.
Could be.
She's in a lot of.
She's
films.
an Oscar-nominated actress, though.
I'm not
for
surprised.
Gone Baby Gone.
Was she?
She was very good. She played a white trash bitch in that movie.
Oh, I recall.
She's excellent, and she's worked with Paul Giamatti in a really good movie called Win-Win, which is a Tom McCarthy film.
All right.
And she's been on The Office and a lot of other movies and TV shows. I like her a lot.
I
really like Amy Ryan.
No, I do too.
She can do it all. She does drama. She does comedy.
Very interesting.
She's a very good actress.
She does Broadway also.
She does.
She does it all. Absolutely.
She's great.
This is Mindy's film, basically.
It really is.
I think Mindy proved herself. She wrote the script all by herself.
Yeah.
Nobody else.
Yeah, well, she's a writer.
True, she is.
She's a self-starter.
I didn't like the fact
this guy's great, Dennis O'Hare.
He is.
He's been in a million things. He's the producer in this movie.
Constantly.
Were we going to say that you didn't like before I cut you off?
I was going to say that I didn't believe the whole thing. We're here. She walks into the writer's room, and she doesn't know who they are. And she's worked there for 23 years. And
well, they say that they're not allowed to have contact with her.
Okay. And this guy, who's this guy?
Well, this guy's in a lot of stuff. In this film, he's a comedian who's basically might be her replacement.
Correct.
His name is, you knew him.
He's vying for her job.
Most recently, you saw him in that movie Blockers.
Oh, did I? Oh, yeah. He was good in that.
Yeah, but his name is...
he's a good guy, too.
He's friends with Mindy Kaling.
I'll bet he's
they
friends
worked
with
together.
Seth Rogen. Too.
Probably, yeah.
Worked,
he was on the show with Mindy, her show, The Mindy Project.
Oh, correct.
His name is Ike something.
They did another
Barrett
show
Holtz.
before The Mindy Project. She was on another show.
Yeah, I think she did do another show.
What the hell was that other show? It was almost like a New Girl kind of thing, but it was and she worked in a doctor's office, and
I can look it up for you.
Look it up because I'd like to know
Look
exactly.
up Mindy, here.
And the guy from The Office was in the show with her.
Which guy?
Just a guy with kind of glass, and she married him in real life and had his baby in real life, and then he took off.
Really?
And kind of dumped her. Yeah,
I didn't
she's
know
a
that.
single mom now.
That sucks.
It does suck.
Douchebags. All right. Let's look it up here.
We should have a movie called Douchebags, about, single women raising kids and how they have to, get rid of the douchebag husbands that...
Let's look here. Office, a lot of Office. I don't see another show here other than The Office, The Mindy Project.
Maybe it is The Mindy Project.
It probably is.
Jeez, I don't recall that. I guess it must be. But
because I remember she was dating somebody that was on the show with her.
Yeah, she's a doctor. He's a doctor, and it's a doctor's office. Gee whiz, I watched it quite a bit. I watched almost every show. Anyway, I like some of the scenes where she goes out and does the Jay Leno man on the street.
No, that was kind of fun.
Yeah. There's some laughs here that are generated by her being a talk show host that are written and. But I like the arc where you know Mindy comes in and she's not well liked, and then suddenly she proves herself by being this independent woman that she is, and she just kind of is such her own person in a very strong way. And I think it's very good for Indian women. It's a good little model for Indian women to see a film like this and let you know that anybody can do anything.
Yeah, and that could go for any minority. I mean, there's no limit for anybody.
Anybody can do anything. You just in this country, you can just go apply for a job and get that job and change things. So I think Mindy was. I think it's a.
She's very good.
I didn't love the film, but I liked it. And Emma's always just.
She's great.
You know, she's the root of the center. She's just such a powerful actress.
She is.
So
I agree.
I give it a big.
And I thought this film was a lot better than I expected it to be.
Yeah,
too.
absolutely.
I kind of thought it was going to be a little bit more.
Almost like a TV movie.
Yeah, or kind of mushy, you know. But it was good. It was good tone throughout.
You know, that's how you answer the phone in Japan, by the way.
Mushy?
Yeah, that's how you say hello.
I didn't know.
You say mushy.
Really?
Yeah.
That's true.
That's a fact.
Interesting. All right, moving on to our final film of the night.
Final film.
We're doing a flashback to 1974's Freebie and the Bean. And yes, I know you probably never heard of it because I never heard of it.
Well,
I'm surprised I never heard of it.
I saw this film in the theater, ladies and gentlemen.
This is
not once, but twice.
This is a crazy movie.
This is nuts, and
This movie cost some money to do these stunts.
It absolutely did. You know, back in the day, this film. Now, I'm going to tell you.
This was right after, 2 years after Godfather.
After Godfather.
James Caan, Alan Arkin. Alan Arkin gets top billing, though.
I know.
I've never seen Alan Arkin like this in this movie.
Well, Alan Arkin.
It's like an explosion every 5 minutes.
This movie is so off the wall.
It's nuts.
It truly is. It's nuts all the way through.
Yeah.
They're just fighting each other.
The whole movie, these two cops are at each other's throats while they're trying to find their crime boss.
No, they're not at each other's throats.
Yeah, they are. Literally, right here.
But true, they are. But there's such a love between them.
There is.
There's such a love there. And also we get to see Valerie Harper, who just passed away only months ago.
I know.
And here's Valerie.
This is a breakout role for her because right after this she got the Mary Tyler Moore Show.
Absolutely.
And she was beautiful in this movie.
She's gorgeous in this movie.
Yeah.
Not only that,
she plays a little Spanish girl.
She does. She plays Alan Arkin's wife.
She was great.
And they're two cops.
That was one of the best scenes in the film.
I love
when he's talking with her at the table and he's quizzing her because he thinks she's cheating.
Yeah, right.
That was a great scene.
It was a great scene. She ruled that scene. But Alan is so, you know, he's just gets the Oscar for, you know, he doesn't get an Oscar for this role. But he's so quirky. He's so bizarre. He's fighting with himself constantly.
Yeah.
You just
he's
feel
so pent up.
And he's, exactly. And I just love the friction between him and Jimmy Caan here. Here's his wife. There's Valerie right there. Looking great. Just lovely.
Yeah.
This movie is so off the wall.
It is crazy. It's a wild, it's like around the world in 80 days on the streets of San Francisco.
Absolutely 100%.
Car chases, car wrecks, destruction of everything.
And just,
it's amazing.
You know, I mean, this is like Dirty Harry Gone Astray.
Kind of,
You know, there's so much. There's a scene where they. Now, let's get to the plot of this film.
Oh, I kind of said it before.
There's a guy named Red Myers.
They're trying to find him.
They found him.
They want to protect him.
They want to protect him
an assassin, right?
Somebody is going to try and kill Red Myers, and he's a valuable witness that they need to have alive.
That's right. Yeah.
And he's also under the gun. He's going to be persecuted.
Yeah.
So they're kind of waiting.
But he's a crime boss.
He is a crime boss.
Yeah.
They're waiting for this guy to come in. Also, we have a great performance by Loretta Swit from MASH in this film, who played what would she play? Hot Flash, or I forgot.
I'll be honest, I don't remember her.
Hot Pan. I forgot what her name was in MASH. But she's wonderful in this film. She was in a horrible car accident.
Which one is she in this film?
She plays Red Meyer's wife. She's the blonde.
Oh, at the end, she flips out on that one guy.
See her,
she's got a couple scenes. I know you're talking about.
She's got a couple scenes midway through the. Okay, so Red Meyer, they're protecting him.
Yeah.
So at one particular point, there's a guy who's coming in from
out of town.
Out of town, he goes. They meet him in a bowling alley.
That guy's weird.
This guy was great.
Weird.
You know, this film directed by Richard Rush, by the way, a guy who gave us the Stuntman. Remember that film?
He did The Color of Night with
Tom Cruise.
No, not Color of Money. That's
Color of Night.
Color of Night was with Bruce Willis.
Correct.
In the 90s. Yeah, that's one of his later films.
Oh, yeah.
And then he also did something else that I took note of.
He died fairly...
no, I think he's still alive, Richard
No, I don't think so.
He also did... he did Psych Out. That crazy drug movie that...
Oh, Jack Nicholson?
Jack Nicholson.
Oh, that's in the 60s.
Yeah, before that.
Before this, I love that movie.
Let's look him up right now.
I don't think you've seen it.
I did watch it. I told you I watched it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that was interesting.
So they're hired to protect this guy, but this film is really about their antics, which just constantly are constant
Always,
throughout this film. It's just a fun movie. And
it really is.
You asked me if what you wanted to review this week, should we do some old John Travolta movie? But we've already done a John Travolta show.
Not really.
Yeah, we did.
No,
we did
didn't.
a whole show on John.
No, we didn't.
We did it sure we did.
No, we didn't do a John
I remember
show.
you talking about where he's the angel and... Yeah, we did a whole thing on John.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we did.
We never did a John Travolta segment. We've covered him many times as part of the show, but we've never done a whole John
I'm sure
segment.
we've done a whole John show.
No, we haven't, because I would have remembered. We didn't.
Oh, God,
No, and when did he play an angel?
He played an angel in a movie called City of Angels, I believe. Was that?
No, that's Nicolas
Nick
Cage.
No, he played an angel in a movie called. It's a guy's name. It's like Martin.
Oh, you're right, Michael.
Michael.
Yeah, no,
He's
we never
got the
talked about that on the
wings
show.
and,
Really, no.
so
And Richard
forth.
Rush is still alive, by the way.
Is he?
Born in 1929.
Oh wow. Okay,
He's an old
so
bag.
he just turned 80.
Yeah.
Wow.
What's his name's turning 80 next year? Is James Caan.
Is he?
Yeah,
Oh,
look
wow.
how young he is in this.
You know, I'm thinking to myself while I'm watching this, wouldn't it be cool if we did a Freebie and the Bean sequel today? You know,
cool.
wouldn't that be wonderful?
Yeah, it'd be kind of
just
fun.
to see them fighting and carrying on.
They'd have to rename it because that title, it's a weird title.
No, it would be Freebie and the Bean 2.
Yeah,
that's all they'd have to do.
Right.
Have Richard
Well, they're
Rush-
both together.
I know.
That would be kind of fun.
That would be such a cool thing.
Well, no, it's just that they're in an old age home and they got to solve a caper. And they're destroying the old
maybe.
age home.
Yeah, but it would be difficult to have them beating each other.
I've
up
never
and
seen
so
Alan Arkin with so much hair.
forth. Yeah, really.
But yeah, it's an
that's probably
enjoyable
a wig.
movie.
That's probably a wig.
It's a lot of fun.
I'll
It's
bet
great.
that is.
It took me, I will say, a little bit to get into it.
Okay.
But once I did, this movie takes you on a ride. It's
It really does.
crazy.
It's a roller coaster.
I couldn't believe a lot of these stunt scenes, these chase scenes. There's one where their car goes flying into an apartment building.
I know.
Like, the amount of money that was spent on these stunts.
Well, you know, and
the
those
choreography,
days, no CGI,
all done
you know, they had to do
practically.
stuff, yeah.
The amount of safety involved, it's been very impressive.
A lot
stuff.
of stunts,
all over
stunt
San
work,
Francisco,
all over the place.
It's
Correct.
worth it for that.
It really is indeed.
It's like a Cannonball Run movie.
I'm going to tell you something though. When I saw this back in the day, and you're probably not gonna, you might have a hard time believing this, but my friends and I who went to see this film, we were more impressed with some of the rudeness that is purveyed by Alan Arkin. Let's say they go to the dentist office, and there's a woman crying.
Yeah.
And Alan Arkin is just saying, "Will you shut up over there? I can't hear myself. I can't hear myself." Like she's trying to talk on the phone
I remember
or
that
something.
scene, yeah.
And we were so impressed with how rude they were to people.
That's what you got out of it?
That's what we got out of it. And also, there's a transvestite in this film.
Who's one of the villains?
He's, we see him in a
bathtub.
He opens up in the bathtub.
Yeah, but he's
then later
one of the bad
on,
guys in the
he
film.
becomes one of the bad women in the film. And bad guys and so forth and goes on. But, this was very, very new in 74.
Oh,
David Bowie had kind of just come out as Ziggy Stardust. That was 74, 73, 72, 74 was his final concert at the Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust by R.L. Pennebaker, the guy, he just died recently, the man who made those, a lot of those documentary rock films. But, there was just something about that. We went to see it and, never seen a guy dressed in drag like that before. There were so many little instances of this film. I remember a friend of mine and I, a friend's brother, we went back and saw it again. We just wanted to see all the mayhem because it was a non-stop roller coaster ride of a film. And we were
probably 16, 17 when this came out?
Oh, God. I was probably 10 or 9.
74?
I probably was 4 or 5, actually.
I'm sure you were.
When this film came out. But, we just were so impressed by how rude they were, how uncaring they were about everybody but each other and getting the job done. And they would just go in.
Oh, they were dedicated, I give them that.
No, their characters are
They
dedicated.
were, yeah.
And just, there's a guy that they have to take care of. We have literally a murder. They're like hitmen.
Well, there's a scene where they blow this guy away. Well, I don't ruin it, but in a toilet. That scene made me laugh because I'm like, talk about excess.
I mean,
the amount of gunfight reminded me of that scene in
they just
Predator when they blow away the forest when they think the predator's in the forest.
Scene in the bathroom at the end. Didn't need to shoot the guy 8 times.
I know.
You know,
It was crazy.
It was just nuts. I like this scene with this Western guy, and it was just there, and he's threatening.
Let's go. Where's my hotel room?
You take these cuffs off of me, I'll teach you guys a lesson.
I know.
So then Alan Arkin says, okay, pull over. Takes him up onto a little hill, pulls out a billy club, bam, slams him down. This is the couple that is watching as their car goes smashing
into their apartment where they're trying to go to
apartment.
eating.
This movie is a kick and a half. Where can they see this?
Check out Freebie and the Bean. Well, it's online. They can watch it. It's on all the major ones: Amazon, Google Play, YouTube.
Yeah.
It's on iTunes. It's on Vudu.
Yeah.
You can watch it all on these sites.
It's a great subtle performances by these guys.
They're both excellent.
You really feel the ad-libbing going on. That they're just.
This is a wild movie.
They're just
That's all I
talking
can
to
say.
each other like, oh, well, you think that? You think she's cheating on me? And then Alan Arkin, they actually get to the place where the hotel where he sees his car. His wife, you know,
thinks
his wife's car.
He
thinks she's cheating on him, and but he doesn't want to know. I don't want to go.
I don't want to go.
I don't want. It was so real. It just you feel the fucking energy in this film. You just
this
feel
movie
these guys.
has a lot of energy.
It's a kick and a half.
It's great.
It's such a.
I really recommend it. It's a bizarre
hour and 50
movie.
minutes,
it's
but
fun.
it flies by. You got a lot of great little.
It's a fun film.
Subliminal character actors. A lot of stunts done by. James Caan himself.
Yeah, I believe it.
Jumping over, this, like when they're going after the woman at the end who has just something has happened and she runs into the ladies' room and so forth. And you see James Caan just hop over this this thing.
About.
Actually, I'm not sure. That might have been a stuntman now that I think of it. But
you're talking about the end when he's jumping down from level to level.
We see him hop over. I think.
Well, one of the two of those was him.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of... There was one scene where he has to run through a crowd.
Yeah.
Remember, he's running through the crowd, and he's just pushing people down. They're all going, hey. I mean, that was him.
No, it's a fun movie. Definitely recommend it.
Some of the stuff that they do. And also, I mentioned this earlier to you, filming the stuff on the streets as they did. It looks like New York, but it's not.
Well, it's San
Francisco.
Yeah.
Okay. And, you really do feel that there were no blockades to block off. You see crowds of, masses of people driving cars in the background.
That's all the extras. And
I don't believe so. You see an entire line of traffic. People just walking by the camera. Nowadays, they have to all be extras because they have to be paid. They have to be registered. They have to be.
Well, the same thing back then. That's always gone. They've always had to pay your extras.
I don't know if that's. I don't.
They've always paid the
extras. I think
extras.
that extras were the immediates. But if you did a crowd scene shot in a city street, the people just walking by, you just see countless people just walking by at times.
Maybe on the periphery, but you can't do those kind of stunt scenes in the streets without having all those cars be stunt players.
All close, those are all done in close up. The stunts.
Because you can in San Francisco, you got the streets behind you from the hills.
Yeah.
Obviously, the hill is still real stuff.
Yeah.
But right here in the vicinity of the camera, that's all professional drivers.
I agree.
And all that stuff.
But there were scenes there where you
might be people on the sidewalk watching.
Well, where you see them just driving through the street, and you just see massive amounts.
Well, that's different. I'm talking about the stunt scenes.
No,
just
I'm talking about
driving conversations.
Just driving
that's one
conversation, and you just see massive city traffic.
Well, no, that's the
real.
Car on a flatbed, and they're just driving, talking.
Probably.
I'm talking about the stunt scenes.
Oh, okay, no.
No, well, just the driving.
Absolutely.
Pulp Fiction, they just drove down the street.
Yeah.
They just have the car on a flatbed, and it's being pulled by a truck.
Right.
And the
camera is right.
Pretend you're driving.
Exactly.
No, that's different.
Yeah. True.
All right, let's move on. That's a great checkout, Freebie and the Bean.
Loads of fun.
1974.
Just a kick and a half.
It is a blast.
You can't go wrong with it.
It was one of the biggest surprises in a long time
I'm
for me.
telling you, and Alan Arkin just steals the show.
He's great.
He's brilliant in this.
He's
really
excellent.
brilliant.
Excellent.
He's so torn, and I never got a feeling that he was Mexican, although he plays a Mexican.
They said that. Yeah, I didn't get that vibe
he's Mexican,
at all.
and James Caan is really just playing Sonny right out of The Godfather.
Yeah.
He's doing the exact same. I think he's wearing Sonny's suit, as a matter of fact, when he got killed. But, you could see the squibs exploding inside guys.
I know,
it's not
right?
like the blood of today that looks so... Now that today...
the 70s blood looks like paint,
Exactly, and it's got the bright red. There's moments there.
Although in The Godfather, those scribs look great.
They did. They did look great. Yeah.
But anyway, we'll move on. Great film.
Okay.
Now we're just going to quick cover a couple things new on video. It's kind of a week for stuff that's fresh on home screens.
Yeah.
Biggest thing is going to be the Dark Phoenix, the big bomb of the year.
There you go.
which I didn't think it was as bad as they said.
I liked this
I
film.
enjoyed it, but I didn't love it by any extent.
You know, I liked it. By the time we got to the end, I was emotionally moved to some extent by
and
this
is
film.
out too. John Waters, Polyester, Criterion 4K Blu-ray.
Correct. No, it's not a. Well, it's 4K mastered, but it's not actual 4K. It's still a Blu-ray.
Well, whatever.
It's 2160.
Yeah, but it is a Criterion.
It is a Criterion. Yeah, very
which
true.
Is a big,
no,
big
John
standard.
Waters. They're very slowly putting all his stuff. Multiple Maniacs, and they still haven't gone for Pink Flamingos yet on Criterion, which is one of the grossest films you'll ever see.
Scratch and Sniff.
We see. No, that film is actually. There is a.
He did do a Scratch and Sniff.
I think it's Polyester. I think that was the film that was a Scratch and Sniff. And I saw that in the theater, and they give you a little card, and they have a little color.
Sniff now,
And no, scratch now. And one of them was supposed to be
poop, right?
Poop.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and of course they all smelled the same. They all smelled like a perfumey kind of, whatever. But I like this film. I love James McAvoy and good old.
The thing I liked the most, I liked that one sequence where we see Magneto for the first time, and he's living on this island with all these people. They're kind of like all expatriates, and that was cool. The government leaves him alone. I thought that was that would have been a cool angle for a separate movie. Right. That would have been kind of neat, you know. Okay. But overall, it wasn't.
Well,
the best.
And of course, Game of Thrones had just ended.
It just
when
ended
this
came out.
Yeah. So she's so identifiable as Circe. What's her name?
No, that's Circe. She's
Circe
on Game of Thrones. Her character is
it begins with an S.
Sansa.
There you go. All you really see her doing is this.
I know.
That scene that we just showed there. That's all we see her do.
I know.
Green. I'm just thinking green screen, green screen everywhere you look. But who's really stands out in this film is, and they don't even have her pictured here, is Jessica Chastain.
She was great.
She was
the villain,
she was good. She's the Martian from the other planet.
Alien,
who basically has come to take over the personalities of these folk
different
here.
people, yeah. No, she was
my
good.
God, and she's like an albino.
I don't know why they're not on a poster.
Why isn't she?
Yeah, why isn't she on this poster?
Jennifer Lawrence, of course. We have a big, strange anachronism where. And I'm going to give it away because it's right at the beginning of the film where she basically perishes.
Yeah.
And this is a prequel to, some of the other films that she was in, the first X-Men film.
Yes.
With the Halle Berry character and Hugh Jackman. And here she is just with the pre notes.
Yes.
And she dies. She just perishes.
It's its own little universe, alternate universe.
Yeah, it kind of doesn't make sense. No. Look at Divine right here, though. Just looking magnificent. Tab Hunter.
Yeah.
It's really a kick, this film.
Now we'll move on.
We can move on.
To what's coming out in theaters this week. We've got a few things.
We do.
Rambo, of course. I cannot wait. They say it's brutal.
Oh, really?
Can't wait to see this. I'll be going.
Yeah.
Thursday night I'm seeing this, 9:30.
Okay. Yeah.
And then we have Ad Astra, which looks really good.
It does.
With Brad Pitt. I'm looking forward to that.
Brad commands
very
the film.
much.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we have one or two other things. It'll come up in a second here. I have let's go. Come on, you can do it. Downton Abbey. Yep, Downton Abbey.
Yeah,
and then
gonna be a big week for us.
And then a documentary which I just mentioned, but watch it at home. Where's my Roy Cohen? About the guy who helped with. He was like Trump's fixer or whatever.
Right.
He's a political guy. Right. Definitely something that you don't need to see in the theater. Watch it on HBO when it's out on HBO, probably in 6 months.
There you go.
But I just want to mention that it's out. And that's our show, so we will see you guys next week.
I would like to mention something. A lot of people say to me, what gives you guys? Why should we listen to you guys?
Because we love movies. We know what's good and we have a lot of insight.
I think we both have a bit of an encyclopedic knowledge of film. And I like to share that I think my encyclopedic knowledge is probably a little bit more wider spread than yours, perhaps.
Well, because you've been around longer than me.
Absolutely, and I've seen.
You had a 20-year head start.
I did indeed, and I have many films that I've seen that you have not.
Of course,
and that makes a difference. But your just pure repartee, a pure memory bank. Is just. Well,
that's right. If we were a team on Jeopardy, we'd kick ass.
I think we'd kick ass.
At least on a movie trivia show.
Well, there you go.
But yeah, and I think too is that what I think sets us apart from a lot of other people on YouTube that do movie reviews is that I think we're fair. I think we have the same kind of mindset as somebody like an Ebert, who we go into the theater and we want to love a movie. We
Correct.
don't want to just be a hater.
Absolutely
Most of the people
true.
on YouTube that
I
do
agree.
this, they're haters. They're bitching about a movie. You know, we
Even the
sit
people
here and
on
give
the Roger Ebert website, which is done by Chaz Ebert,
I know,
his
yeah.
wife. She has now sponsored the
Ebert
RogerEbert.com
website.
website. And some of the people there, and every Friday I get the email of all the films
Yeah,
that
I
they
do too.
And everything.
I don't even look at it.
You know, it's such a waste because everything is 1.5 stars, 1 star, 1.5, 2 stars. You know, it's so rare that they like anything.
No, they're all haters.
They're all haters.
I know.
They go into a theater like Gene Siskel used to do, prepared to hate the film.
I know.
Prove to me that you're worth my time.
Yeah.
Roger Ebert was
The
a true
opposite.
child
I agree.
of infinity. He was the true child of the universe who just simply walked into a theater and said, I'm in my element, this is where I want to be.
I know.
The best part for Roger Ebert was always the black screen.
I know.
When he just first got there,
Yeah.
before the trailer started, he just launched into that big bucket of popcorn that he got.
Yeah.
And he was just so thrilled as a human being to just sit there, and now I'm going to go on this ride.
Exactly.
I'm going to go on
I agree.
this ride. And you know,
That's what made him so unique.
I just love that about films in general,
Mm-hmm.
no matter who you are, where you are. And I've always said this to everybody that will listen. When I'm on my deathbed, will I actually, you know, and my life flashes before my eyes, will it be the life of all the directors whose films I've seen? Will it be all the movies? Will I think of Lawrence of Arabia in the desert? Will I think of this person here? Or,
like
or
whose life did you live?
yeah, whose life did I live? Was it Citizen Kane's life, or was it The Godfathers, or you know, all the movies that have made a large impression?
I know it's
on
interesting.
us.
It's an interesting commentary.
But it's a moot point because we're about to die. So you know, in the fictitious metamorphic
I know what you're
world of this whole parallel thought pattern.
Yeah.
But you know, it's just a wonderful venue for we humans to simply sit back and watch a movie and be transported.
It's true.
I just love it. Freebie and the Bean. I suggested to you out of the blue.
Yeah.
You know, just as something, and I'm just so grateful that you just
yeah, no,
appreciate it. As you do.
It looked crazy.
It looks
and
nuts.
won me over.
And it will win you over. Absolutely true. But I am looking forward to
Me
this.
too. I can't wait. It's just going to be exactly what you expect. Carnage. It's
Yeah.
going to be great.
I think so too.
Because I was laughing my ass off at the last one. My friends and I were laughing because it was so over the top.
It was over the top, but the digital blood for me was.
Well, that sucked. That was the mid 2000s awful digital
I
blood.
know.
Now we're back to the squibs, thank God, because they realize that stuff looks like shit.
It does look like
It's
shit,
just
and
awful.
you know, we just see the blood. You know, literally, it practically hits the lens.
I know.
With this fake looking
does.
splattering
It's
technique.
terrible, I know.
And it just looked god awful.
I
So
agree.
I'm grateful too
Yeah,
that
me
they're
too.
back to the squibs. That's the way it should be.
I agree. That's how it should always be, and it's been used so many great times and so many great movies, and I'm just glad that we're still using it. It's the best.
It's interesting to see the development of blood.
Yeah.
You know, here's just another little 2-minute segment I'll tacked on here. But to watch the progression of blood color, you know, in cinema, and back in the 1970s, for example,
I know what you're saying,
blood
yeah.
was always like paint.
It looked like paint. Freebie and the Bean. When it's on his shirt, when he gets shot, and it's on his jacket, on James Gunn's jacket.
Well, that's
looks
true.
just like paint.
But the squibs in the bathroom, for example, look terrific. There's another guy who gets shot. He's standing up there, and bing, bing. We just see the shots, and those look right. The blood color was correct. But you're right. The blood on and early horror films were really to play.
I know.
Some of those Jess Franco films. Those Italian kind of,
Dario Argento, a lot of those
soft
early
porn.
stuff.
No, I'm talking about the soft porn kind of stuff. Even Dario Argento to some extent. Yeah, even Suspiria. The blood was so fake.
It looks terrible.
It was just done to, as Malcolm McDowell said, it's always strange how the colors of the real world are amplified on when you video them on the cinema screen, and it's true because colors are always bigger than life. But I'm just grateful that they've really got blood.
No, they've got it down. Thank God.
It's just basically corn syrup and
syrup.
food coloring.
That's all it is.
And that's all we do. And it's just so nice that they've really got it right now.
I agree.
Nowadays, oh my God, geez, I just saw a film recently, and there was so much blood.
Well, look at it.
Well, look at
the amount of blood
not
Jessica
just
Chastain is like drowning in.
I know. How about the scene though? Even in the Fanatic, when the guy wakes up and he's tied
there's
up,
blood. You're right. Yeah.
And then we have Travolta on the ground, on the floor, and he's faking the whole
that's
thing.
right. That was funny.
That was funny.
Yeah, that looked good.
And he's laying there, and it looks like he's dead. And I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, did he die? Did something happen? No, it was just...
That was cool that he did that.
It was cool that he does this
I didn't see
little
that coming.
fake thing coming. It was kind of cool.
But anyway, we should move on because
we can move on. It's probably been an hour or so.
We'll see everybody next week.
We shall.
With more stuff.
We'll be back.
We'll be back.
Louie, where are you?
Road. Yeah, but we going now. Yeah, Mr.